So for more, we're turning now live to ex-diplomat, geopolitical expert, and podcaster, Mr. Pyotr Kurzin. Thank you very much, Sir Kurzin, for joining us tonight. So this is not merely a spot on the board of the board. It's a statement.
Well, it's a Putin statement. I would say that. And thank you for having me. Putin says a lot of things, but I think it's sometimes most important to focus on when he doesn't say much. In this case, he has said something, but I think what he's trying to do is get ahead a little bit of what happened a few weeks ago. Clearly, he was rattled by the Europeans' willingness to try to push ahead with that frozen asset usage for Ukraine. And in this demonstration, I think he's trying to win round Trump a little bit, who has certainly been frustrated with the Kremlin more recently than, say, 6 months ago with the Alaska visit and summit and such. But what I mean by that is that because he's offering to utilize some of these frozen assets that the US holds, he's showing a sense of goodwill. However, that is in the Middle East, on Palestine and that region. Of course, he continues to strike Ukraine, and his actions do differ to his words. So I think this is as much about a certain degree of pragmatism from the Kremlin, from Putin, as it is about a genuine goodwill to support the Palestinian situation or resolve the long-standing crisis that is happening in Gaza.
And let's be honest, if we're talking about what is there to gain and what is there to lose, from Putin's standpoint, at least at this point in time, nothing much to lose, if anything at all. Before we continue our conversation, you've mentioned Ukraine, how not? Let's take a listen.
So I meet with Ukraine, as you know, today. I meet with the president, and we'll be discussing it. We're meeting with President Putin today or tomorrow, and some people are going over, and I think they're getting close. A lot of people are being killed. We got to get it done. If we don't get that done, it would be a disgrace.
So essentially, Mr. Kurzin, this board of peace is slated to begin with the issue of Gaza, but then to move on to other conflicts, right? That is the Trump fantasy here, or Trump plan rather, with the board of peace. How do you connect the dots?
Well, you're right in saying it. The Board of Peace was first and foremost associated with Gaza and the situation down there. But clearly Trump has these ulterior ambitions, or grandiose ambitions, shockingly for Mr. Trump, that is to apply it to every degree of conflict zone. He wants to be seen as a peacemaker, as a deal maker, and in the context of Ukraine. I think he thinks that sort of bringing Putin on board is a necessity. But it's also to do with the way that Trump sees the world. He's very much a realpolitik, 19th century, this idea that great powers determine things at the behest of, little powers not having much say. And I certainly think that this is a degree of a balancing act for Putin as well, right? He wants to win Trump round, get back on a good footing with him. And also to what you said about the losses. Russia can't really have suffered many more losses in the past year. If we cast our minds back to December of 24, the ousting of Bashar al-Assad was huge.
Right.
Now we've got the losses of Iran and its proxies. And what has Russia done? Nothing, because they can't. They don't have the bandwidth. All these ideas that Russia can threaten Greenland when it can't even take Ukraine, obviously the realities are staunchly there. And so in my mind, what's happening now is Trump doing a degree of what's known as anchoring. This idea that he starts with an extremist position, and then once people have been sort of freaked out by that, when he then offers a bit more of a compromise. So he threatened to invade Greenland, but then it actually comes around to sort of some kind of economic or Cyprus model, as they're calling it. And I think that that's what Putin's going to try to sort of latch onto.
And yet it might be this negotiation tactic. If I ask you, please, Mr. Kurzin, can you go to the supermarket again, get me milk and bread and chocolate? But then I say, can you get me a glass of water? Water is all I wanted to begin with, but you feel that you got better half of the deal, so to speak, just because I presented reality in a certain capacity. So maybe this is what Putin wanted all along. Maybe this is what Trump wants all along. And perhaps we're attributing too much to their pre-planning, and reality is the dictator, the real dictator. Pyotr Kurzin, ex-diplomat, geopolitical expert, podcaster. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Pleasure.
All right.